What's going on, YouTubers? It's the Natural Born Thriller, and welcome everyone to Impact Wrestling Review, the show from July 26, 2019. I guess it's 26? Yes, 26. They were in Toronto, Ontario, Canada. Your commentators were Josh Matthews and Don Callis. And the opening match, we got Jordynne Grace versus Kiera Hogan, and oh yeah, I got something to talk about this one. So before the match started, we also got Madison Rayne coming out. You know, the Queen Bee. She goes on commentary with Josh Matthews and Don Callis, and the match began with Jordynne Grace and Kiera Hogan having a decent match. And then all of a sudden they end up being outside the ring. They start brawling. At one point, I don't remember how it went. Basically, Jordynne Grace was like, oh yeah, electric chair spot by Jordynne Grace to Kiera Hogan on the outside, and then Jordynne Grace gets back into the ring, but Kiera Hogan, she tried to get back into the ring, but wasn't able to make it on time. But Madison Rayne ends up throwing her back into the ring. So basically, Madison Rayne saves Kiera Hogan of losing by countout. So the match ends up still continuing on with Jordynne Grace and Kiera Hogan fighting back and forth, counter after counter, until finally Jordynne Grace hits Kiera Hogan with the Grace driver, and gets a 3 count in the win. So, and nothing against Jordynne Grace. I'm just sick and tired of seeing Kiera Hogan losing. She never wins anything. It's not too long ago, Kiera Hogan made her debut in Impact Wrestling, which was a year ago. Somewhere around the springtime, where she went up against Lauren Vaness with no introduction, no entrance. She got her ass kicked in the match. And yeah, she got some offense, but basically it was going to be a squash match for Lauren Vaness. But until Allie came out and distracted Lauren Vaness for Kiera Hogan to get an upset win. And ever since then, what has Kiera Hogan won ever since? She hasn't won any big matches. And yeah, she may have won some few tag team matches. She may have won a couple of singles matches. Even one that was against someone like Alicia Edwards and against Taya Valkyrie by disqualification because of offset interferences from Tessa Blanchard at the time. But other than that, what has she won ever? Big matches has she won on Impact Wrestling? I'm getting sick and tired of this bullshit with Kiera Hogan not winning matches. It's official. Kiera Hogan is a fucking loser on Impact Wrestling. She can't win a fucking match. And it pissed me off. I'll happen later on. When I get to that part, I'm like what? Why even keep her there? Why even have her employee on Impact Wrestling? Is she nothing but a good hand? What is the reason of why they're not giving Kiera Hogan a break here? You brought her in, she had some fans getting behind her, but she doesn't win, and then you turn her heel. And then she doesn't do a good job as winning against Jordynne Grace, and then we start to repackage her as a heel, and with new look, new attire, new music, new Titantron and everything, and then she still loses to Jordynne Grace. And here I thought Jordynne Grace was going to gain a loss here against Kiera Hogan. But that wasn't the case at all. Jordynne Grace still wins. And, in a way, they're kind of fucking up. I'm not saying they're only trying. They're only fucking up with Kiera Hogan. They're fucking up with Jordynne Grace too. Keep in mind, Jordynne Grace was undefeated at one point until they decided to defeat her to Taya Valkyrie. And let's not forget too, when she first came into Impact Wrestling, they kept saying that she had a dominant win against Katarina. No, she didn't. Katarina was getting the better of Jordynne Grace during that match. So here we are in the situation where Kiera Hogan could have lost by countout if it wasn't Madison Rayne. But when Kiera Hogan got in the ring and she still couldn't win, yes, she still couldn't win. Jordan Grace still beat her. Despite management helping her back into the ring, she still lost. What is the goal here for Kiera Hogan? Why even have her there? Why even have her employed there on Impact Wrestling? What's the point? What's the point of Kiera Hogan being there? Is she nothing but a good hand? She's nothing but an enhancement talent. I don't understand why they're doing this to Kiera Hogan. I just got to face it at this point. Kiera Hogan is a loser in Impact Wrestling. She can't win the match. And I'll get to more of that later on, what pertains to Kiera Hogan and Match Ray later on. Because I don't know, because at this point, it's like I said before, I don't know what the fuck they're doing with Kiera Hogan. I'm pretty sure they don't know what to do with her. But we'll get to that later. But it just irks me that they got nothing for Kiera Hogan on Impact Wrestling. You know, other promotions, they know what to do with Kiera Hogan, but for some reason Impact Wrestling doesn't know what the fuck to do with her. It's like, why even try to get invested to Kiera Hogan at this point? Why even bother to get invested of Kiera Hogan if she never wins on Impact Wrestling? At this point now, Impact Wrestling could do whatever the fuck they want with Kiera Hogan right now. Because I thought this was going to be the turning point for Kiera Hogan to get her win against Jordan Grace, even with Master Rain being there at ringside to be a distraction, and that was not even good enough either. I just gotta fix fast that Kiera Hogan's not going to be anything in Impact Wrestling. She's not going to be anything influence on the Knockouts division. She's a nobody in Impact Wrestling because she always loses. What is the end game for Kiera Hogan on Impact Wrestling? And I'm start thinking of why they're doing this to her. Is it because she's small? Is it because she's black? Is it because she's a lesbian? What is it? What Impact Wrestling doing this to Kiera Hogan? What is the Impact Wrestling problem with Kiera Hogan? Because I like to know. I haven't heard anything about what's the problem with Kiera Hogan. Because there should not be anything wrong with Kiera Hogan. Brian Cage cuts a promo to Michael Elgin. He reminds him that he has already beaten him once, and he will do it again. This time, when it pertains to a street fight match, and we'll get to that later, folks. We get to Ty Valkyrie and with Johnny E. Bravo to meet up with Rosemary backstage at her lair or something, and saying that she needs backup because Havoc is still after her. And Rosemary informed her that her contract was up at Summerversary, so there's no more any more help for Ty Valkyrie from Rosemary, and she's on her own. So there you go. But Johnny Bravo has an idea to solve this problem with Havoc. And we'll get to that later. We get Sami Callihan. He goes to the ring. He asks for a mic, or demands for a mic, and he demands Tessa Blanchard to come out right now. So they end up meet up in the ring, and basically Tessa Blanchard does a her promo. She's just staying there to listen what Sami Callihan had to say. So Sami Callihan said he thought at first with the match between himself and Tessa Blanchard at Summerversary, it was going to be a cakewalk. But then he saw that that Tessa Blanchard has an end game during the match, and when they I'm trying to remember how I said before that. Basically, so that it was going to be a cakewalk where it pertains to beating Tessa Blanchard, but Tessa Blanchard was showing that she has heart and everything, and then where it pertains to the matchup tournament, where she showed her A game, that she brought her A game in that match, and they won the tournament to face each other for an opportunity to face Brian Cage for the Impact World Championship. And then from there, Sami Callihan basically told Blanchard that he respects her. And he basically said to her that he doesn't do this. He doesn't do this often, but he extends his hand for a handshake, and she shakes his hand, and then he says to Tessa Blanchard, see you next week, Toots, and then pats her on the back on her ass, basically taps her ass basically. Tessa Blanchard did not like that, and then she punches Sami Callihan down, beats him up. Sami Callihan tries to fight back. Tessa ends up getting the better of him by giving him the Magnum, and yeah, Tessa Blanchard was not amused about what Sami Callihan did there. So Sami Callihan got what he deserved right there. Also, we go backstage and we see OVE yelling at each other backstage about stick to the plan and everything. And then Sami Callihan ended up saying stick to the plan. What about I said, what were you guys when Tessa Blanchard did that to attack me? And then it was Dave Crist who said, you told us to stay back here and all that, to not get involved in everything. And then Sami Callihan was still frustrated at that point, and he says that you want to attack me and everything. And it's like, well, how about if I send my monster, my Ohio monster on you, which is Madman Fulton, for the next Impact Wrestling show. So it's going to be Tessa Blanchard versus Madman Fulton, and I cannot wait to see that match, folks. And there you go. We'll get to more OVE later on. We get Moose versus Ray Steele. Don't know who Ray Steele is, but Moose beats him. After the match, Moose gets the microphone and speaks to the fans and Impact Management about not understanding why he hasn't been given a title opportunity. And saying so, but you had an opportunity to win the tournament with Eddie Edwards, and you didn't win. Not because of Moose though, because Eddie Edwards lost the match for the team, but still, he had an opportunity and he didn't win. He also says that he's put the company on his back. I wouldn't say that really, but in a way, he kind of got a point there. And we're saying him becoming Mr. Impact Wrestling. I still don't know how he ends up becoming Mr. Impact Wrestling. They never even mentioned how he became Mr. Impact Wrestling, or he even been knighted to become become Mr. Impact Wrestling. But he says that that he be a legend in the RVD, or in his words, a Hall of Famer. He's not a Hall of Famer in WWE. He's not a Hall of Famer where it pertains to ECW. Because there is no ECW Hall of Fame, but still. But at the same time, I guess he's maybe a Wrestling Observer Newsletter Hall of Famer, maybe. I don't know. I mean, maybe that's what you're talking about. But the fact is, unless there's a Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame that already is in, I don't know if he is in the Hall of Fame or not, but still. But whatever. But anyways, the point is he beat RVD, who is a legend in the wrestling business. And he says that, that he isn't like the former world champion who left the company after being after their big title reign, and he says to basically point out to Don Callis. It's like everyone is pointing out on Don Callis, what pertains to him being having some influence of Impact Wrestling, like what Austin Aries did it, Eli Drake did it, Tessa Blanchard at one point did it, back at Hogan at one point did it a few times. Sami Callihan did it. Who else got put in that category? I guess Glenn Gilberti, Disco Inferno. But now we got Moose doing this now, and I don't understand. I don't get it. On TV, obviously he's supposed to be he's a commentator on TV, but at the same time, we all know what his role is behind the headset. He is if I can remember, I think he's the vice president of Impact Wrestling, I guess. Anyway, he does got some. The point is, Don Callis got some influence backstage for Impact Wrestling. And if that's the case, Don Callis, what are you gonna do with Kiera Hogan? What are you gonna do with Kiera Hogan? I'm having get a big push on Impact Wrestling. When is Kiera Hogan's gonna get her big Impact break? Don Callis. Just saying. So basically, back to the whole thing with Moose. Moose says to Don Callis, yo, you give me this guy, this piece of garbage and everything to, what pertains to Ray Steele. I already forgot his first name. And he says that, it's going to be your fault. And he's going to be, I forgot how he said it. A GoFundMe for his family. So he attacks Ray Steele, gives him an April powerbomb, and there you go. So I guess that's going to be the last time we see Ray Steele. Whatever. And as far as where they're going with Moose, I like it. I like where they're going with Moose here. I mean, we've seen it done in the past before where pertains to disgruntled wrestlers and everything. AEW has been doing this too. And let's face it, other promotions have done this too. But still, I like where they're going with Moose here, and I can't wait to see what they do with Moose here. Sort of, but I digress. We go backstage and we see Johnny E. Bravo looking for Havoc. He finds Havoc. He says that there is no way that she will ever get to Ty Valkyrie. Basically, let her know that we could do this the easy way. He said we could do this the hard way, or I forgot how he said it, but basically he did it in the way where he's flirting with Jessica Havoc, and Jessica Havoc basically trying to seduce Jessica Havoc, but Jessica Havoc was teasing that she was falling for him, and then she attacks him, and then Johnny Bravo left by saying, "Oh, you want to do this the hard way? Fine, we'll do this the hard way," and then that was it. That was the last we've seen of it. So the feud between Jessica Havoc and Ty Valkyrie is going to carry on, and we'll see how that turns out. We see a promo video of the North, where pertains to them of their incredible match at their anniversary. It wasn't incredible, but it was still a good match though. But pertains to LEX and the Rascals, retain the Impact World Tag Team Championships, and there you go. Basically, a promo they cut about they're the best tag team and everything, and they're going to showcase it next week, where pertains against the Rascals. Speaking of the Rascals, we go to the Rascals of the clubhouse, and they're deciding who's going to be the one to face, the North, which is again Ethan Page and Josh Alexander. Well, actually not again because I didn't mention their names at first. So, but you actually know who the North is. The North is All Eagle, Ethan Page, and the Walking Weapon, Josh Alexander. That's the North. But anyways, so they're trying to decide who's going to face the North for the Impact World Tag Team Championships for the next Impact Wrestling show. So Wentz can't do it because he's got one match to open up the show for the next Impact Wrestling show. After that, he's going to the Jonas Brothers concert with a date. And Gail Kim shows out of nowhere and says, "I'm going with him." It's like because who doesn't love a Jonas Brothers concert and all that, right? I'm like, what the hell? So Gail Kim is going on a date with Wentz to go to a Jonas Brothers concert. And I say to myself, wait a minute, Gail Kim, ain't you married to Rob Irvine? Is that how he says his last name? Rob Irvine. The celebrity chef on TV. And is she married? And she's going on a date with Wentz to go to a Jonas Brothers concert. The only thing that's only thing good about the Jonas Brothers concert is Nick Jonas. Just saying. But anyways, so the point is now we're to this whole thing. It's gonna be Trey and Dez from the Rascals to face the North for the Impact World Tag Team Championships. There you go. And it was by the way, it was a funny segment too, by the way, which is to the clubhouse. Oh yeah, this is the part where we get back to Kiera Hogan and Madison Rayne. So, Melissa Santos was interviewing Kiera Hogan about, her loss against Jordan Grace. And then Madison Rayne comes in and interrupts the interview and basically making fun of Kiera Hogan of being a loser. And then Kiera Hogan was like, "You haven't won a match since 2011. So now we're making Kiera Hogan looking like a dumbass. Madison Rayne has not won a match since 2011. That's Kiera Hogan, folks. Not only that she's a loser in Impact Wrestling, but she's also a dummy on Impact Wrestling as well. Because Madison Rayne, then she got wins over Tessa Blanchard last year, which 2 wins. And then this year, she beat Tessa Blanchard 1 time. And on top of that, then she beat someone else on Impact Wrestling, Madison Rayne. So they start arguing for a little bit. And then Melissa Santos couldn't take it anymore, and she leaves. And that was it. That was the segment. There was no conclusion of the segment. What was the conclusion? What was the point of this? Now I really don't know where they're fucking going with this whole thing with Kiera Hogan and Madison Rayne. Now I'm convinced they don't know what the fuck they're doing with Kiera Hogan, what pertains to her being with Madison Rayne. Are they together? Are they not together? What the fuck is going on here? What is the end game here? What is the next path here for Kiera Hogan? Is she gonna be with Madison Rayne, or she's not gonna be with Madison Rayne? Are they gonna be teaming up? Are they not gonna be teaming up? Or it's just gonna be a running theme here? How do you have nothing for Kiera Hogan on Impact Wrestling? What the fuck is going on with Impact Management? And what the fuck is going on with Creative Impact Wrestling? What the fuck is going on with Impact Wrestling overall? Oh, speaking of which, too, here we go. Here's another one here, which I thought was stupid here. Ace Austin. He catches up with Alicia Edwards, who's the wife of Eddie Edwards. Keep that in mind. So Ace Austin was flirting with Alicia Edwards, basically showing her some magic tricks that he knows. And she's like, she knows how those tricks works and everything. And then she walks off, and Ace Austin checks her out and everything. And then we get some other lady walking by, and she said she's available, whatever. And then Ace Austin basically turns her down. And look at her, by the way, she looks decent. I'll tell you one thing, she looks better than Paige. Just saying. But I don't know if she's an employee for Impact Wrestling or she's a wrestler. She didn't even mention her name, so I guess she's supposed to be some kind of hooker, whatever. I don't know, or a tramp. I don't know. But they did. It wasn't really a clear explaining of who she is. She came out of nowhere and basically said to Ace Austin, "I'm available," and then he turns her down. And then as she walks away, because she was disgusted. And also Ace Austin continues to stare at Alicia Edwards as she walks away. I mean, they didn't show Alicia Edwards on camera though, but it just shows Ace Austin, still pay attention to Alicia Edwards. And I say to myself, why are we having Ace Austin, trying to hit on Alicia Edwards, who is married to Eddie Edwards? Now, this could lead to Eddie Edwards versus Ace Austin, but at the same time, what a fucking waste of an opportunity here for Ace Austin, where he could have been wrestling against Rich Swann instead. Because they've been teasing Rich Swann and Ace Austin outside of Impact Wrestling, what pertains to the shows they've been doing for Impact Plus, for other organizations that they go at. What a waste of opportunity of not having Ace Austin versus Rich Swann for the X Division Championship. Because they got Ace Austin now flirting with Alicia Edwards, just to he could start a program with Eddie Edwards. We get Willie Mack, the master of the 6-star frog splash, versus Rob Van Dam, the master of the 5-star frog splash, Mr. Well, I can't say he's Mr. Friday Nights, but in a way he kind of is Mr. Friday Nights, but also Mr. Sellout, because he Even though he got the blessing for Impact Wrestling to go to WWE's Raw Reunion, but he still ends up being a sellout for showing up on Monday Night Raw. But just doing this, Rob Van Dam, and doing absolutely nothing. But here's the thing, Willie Mack versus Rob Van Dam. For some reason, Rob Van Dam took too long to come out, and he finally came out, and we get this match going on. Match itself was solid. In the end, Robert Van Dam won with the 5-star frog splash. At one point, Willie Mack tried to go for the 6-star frog splash, but misses. And the RVD goes for the 5-star frog splash and gets the 3 count in the win. So your winner is Rob Van Dam. We go backstage and we see once again Ace Austin try to talk to Alicia Edwards. And then Stone Rockwell shows up to interfere with the conversation. Again, what the fuck are they doing with Ace Austin to try to flirt with Alicia Edwards, who's married to Eddie Edwards? And why is Stone Rockwell still there? I don't care about this guy, Stone Rockwell. In fact, Stone Rockwell is getting more of a push than Kiera Hogan is getting of a push on Impact Wrestling. But then we see LAX, which is only Ortiz and Konnan, because Santana is out on injury. And basically they need Ortiz needs a partner. And Dagger comes in by, with Batista Konnan, choosing his partner. And then Ortiz is like, oh, you're a tremendous athlete and everything, but you're not a killer. You don't come from where I come from and everything. So basically, Santana. So Ortiz meant to say Ortiz was like, Konnan, I can't team with him. I got this and everything. And then Conan's like, telling Dagger, he'll come around. So yeah, I don't know what's gonna happen with that one, but Ortiz, he's got this somehow, some way. So we'll see how that turns out. As far as Dagger, I don't know what's gonna happen with Dagger now. I mean, I'm assuming Conan's gonna try to reason with Ortiz to have Dagger team up with him and everything. But other than that, I don't know. I just don't know. We have to wait and see. Because they didn't do anything after that. Pertains to this. So we get Melissa Santos interviewing Michael Elgin. So I love this segment here. So Michael Elgin is being interviewed what pertains to Brian Cage. What pertains to Michael Elgin being scared of what he might do to him in a street fight, because he could use anything he wants, a steel chair, whatever. And then he tells Brian Cage that, I remember how he first said it. It says something about, instead of worrying about, about him or something like that. I'm trying to remember how he said it. He should be, instead of worrying about something else, I'm trying to remember how he said it though. I wish I had the full details here, but. Oh yeah, instead of focusing on the task in hand, you're focusing on his fiancée. And basically, and then he looks at Melissa Santos, because Brian Cage and Melissa Santos are engaged. They have a kid together, but they haven't got married yet. So basically, Michael Elgin looks at Melissa Santos when he said fiancée. Instead of focusing on your fiancée, and he looks at her, and then Melissa Santos had a look on her face like. that was funny. It reminds me of Ty Valkyrie. Kept going after Mr. Santos, what pertains to with the whole thing with John B. Trash feuding with Brian Cage at the time. So that was funny. And then Michael Hogan again talks about that Brian Cage is scared of defending his Impact World title in a street fight and everything, and then he says something about, instead of worrying about something. And he says you're worrying about Melissa Santos and like that. And once again, he brings up Melissa Santos, and then he says that he's gonna break down the machine, because he said the machine keeps breaking down because of Michael Elgin. That's what he said. So there you go. But yeah, Michael Elgin, he was being a savage during that interview. So I loved it. I loved it. Now we get to the main event match. It's Rich Swann defending his X Division Championship against Jake Crist from OVE. And you're probably wondering yourself, wait a minute, that's not the main event? I screwed up, my fault. I meant to say, wait a minute, the street fight match between Michael Elgin and Brian Cage is not the main event? Well, I'll get to that when I get to it. But this ends up being the main event match. But here we go. So Rich Swann versus Jake Crist. They're having a decent match, and all of a sudden, Rich Swann sees Dave Crist coming, and he hits him, and then the match, obviously the match continues, because he strikes Dave Crist because he tried to attack him from behind while the referee wasn't looking. Commercial break. You come back from commercial break. Dave Crist is outside of the ring, at a ringside for Jake Crist. So Jake Crist and Rich Swann still fighting. They're having a good match at this point. A lot of combo strikes and everything at each other and all that. It was pretty amazing. And a lot of high flying moves and all that. Rich Swann at one point hits him with a Phoenix Splash only for Jake Crist to roll about 3 times, get near the ropes. Rich Swann goes to the cover, but Dave Crist gets his foot on his rope. Dave Crist gets Jake Crist's foot on the ropes there. And Rich Swann realizes what happened there. He goes after Dave Crist. And then he hits both of the Crist brothers, the OVE, with the lethal injection, double lethal injections onto both of them. Basically, Jay Lethal special. Shades of Jay Lethal too, in a way. And then Dave Crist was doing in the ring. Referee is attending him, while Jay Crist is trying to get back up. All of a sudden, as Rich Swann is climbing the top rope to do something, Madman Fulton comes out of nowhere and pushes Rich Swann off him, just for Jake Crist to catch him in midair with a cutter. And then he finally goes for I don't remember how he did it. Basically, Jake Crist from the second rope, I believe, with a diving DDT, I guess, to Rich Swann, and Rich Swann spiked himself. And Jake Crist covers Rich Swann and gets a 3 count in the win, so your winner and new X Division champion, Jake Crist of OVE. Wow. I couldn't believe it. And that's why, folks, that Ace Austin and Rich Swann for the X Division Championship title will not happen, because Rich Swann has lost his title against Jake Crist due to outside interferences of OVE. But at the same time, Rich Swann should have known what was going to happen there, because he knew that, in a way, that OVE was going to get involved either way. The whole thing with Jake Crist coming out there, if we try to attack him, he knew. But he didn't. But the one thing though is that Rich Swann thought he could overcome it, but that's not what happened. Jake Crist is your new X Division champion, one of the most underrated workers in Impact Wrestling. He got his dues to be paid here to become a new X Division champion. Good for Jake Crist. I always thought he was one of the best underrated workers in Impact Wrestling. So, in a way, he deserves this. I'm glad he won the belt. But at the same time, now we're never going to get that Rich Swann versus Ace Austin match, unless Ace Austin or Rich Swann wants that belt back. Well, basically, if Rich Swann wants that belt back, and when Ace Austin becomes X Division champion. But at the same time, I think Rich Swann needs to win that belt back so that we could try to get that match for Bound for Glory between Ace Austin versus Rich Swann. Now, will we get that? No, because Impact Wrestling are fucking idiots, because they got Ace Austin going after Alicia Edwards, flirting with her, knowing that Alicia Edwards is married to Eddie Edwards. Wow. Oh, I wonder where's that going to lead to. So Jake Crist is celebrating. Sami Callihan was saying, we are the new X Division champions and all that. And then all of a sudden, Jake Crist was like, I just said that you couldn't do. I beat Rich Swann to become the new X Division champion. in a way that kind of upsets Sami Callihan. And then Crist was like, hey, you know what? Since I shouldn't be called the mini draw anymore. I should be called the golden draw. And then Sami Callihan was like, stupid. It's not gold. It's silver. And then Crist was tasting the belt, and it's like, it's white gold. So now, basically, he could taste the difference of gold and white gold, I guess. But yeah, there you go. That was it. But OVE, they got a belt so far. It's the tag belts, which was back in 2017. Now they got an exhibition gold in their collection now. So there you go. All right, now we get to the match that never happened between Brian Cage versus Michael Elgin in a street fight match, because Michael Elgin attacks Brian Cage from backstage. They didn't show it though, but because Brian Cage was taking too long to come out there, and also we see Brian Cage starts crawling, and then we see Michael Elgin with a steel chair, basically was laying him out with steel chair shots and everything, brings him to the ring, and he gets a microphone and says, non-title. Since this match isn't for the title, he has no other reason to be out there other than attack Brian Cage. And he said until he can't compete no more, And also we get security come out there to stop Michael Elgin. Michael Elgin basically kills them all, especially this one guy with a steel chair shot. And then one guy that Michael tries to throw him out, but this guy, he botches his own way to get out of the ring, so he ends up closing himself onto the ropes there, dummy. But basically Michael Elgin takes out all the securities, and then he's gonna take out Brian Cage again with a steel chair. He put he unfolded the steel chair, puts Brian Cage's head on there. First he did the concerto, and that's when the securities came out there, and then to try to stop Michael Elgin. But as I told you all about what Michael Hogan did, and all of a sudden, then he opened the steel chair, unfolded the steel chair, and placed it there, and put Brian Cage's head to it. He's going to try to end his career, and then Melissa Santos comes out with a different outfit now, and she tells Michael Hogan to stop, and she begs him to stop and everything. All of a sudden, the same masked man in the hoodie shows up again to try to spear Michael Hogan. When Michael Hogan sees it coming, and lays him out. And Mr. Santos ends up trying to get Brian Cage out of there, and Michael Elgin was going to take care of this masked man, with the hoodie, from wait this to my 7th anniversary, and then we get another guy coming in there, and Simba said, wait a minute, that's Rhino, and sure enough, he unmasks himself, and it's Rhino, it's the War Machine, Rhino, and then Michael Elgin gets gore. So basically, Rhino. So that's basically that was Rhino right there. Like, if that's Rhino, then who was that? So basically, that was a decoy for Rhino to distract Michael Elgin, so he could reveal himself to Michael Elgin, and then he could gore him to they could start their feud. So Rhino goes into the crowd. The crowds are loving this, by the way. The entire crowds are popping, by the way. And then Rhino reveals Impact Wrestling T-shirt, which now it's official now. Rhino is no longer under contract with WWE. He is now a part of Impact Wrestling, which is good because Rhino is back to being what he was before, when he was back in Impact, during his days in TNA. He is the War Machine, Rhino, gore. Yes. And there you go, folks. That was Impact Wrestling. Talking about wrestling for Impact Wrestling, the show from July 26, 2019. I believe it was 5 matches. Let me just double check. It could be 4 matches, because again, the match between Michael Elgin and Brian Cage didn't happen because the whole Michael Elgin attacking Brian Cage situation. 4 matches. Yeah, 4 matches. And my overall rating for the show, I'm gonna go with a 7 out of 10. Good show, despite the whole Hogan burial again, and the Ace Austin flirting with Alicia Edwards, and I can't think of anything else that happened that I thought the show was terrible about. Everything else I thought was good. So, yeah, 7 out of 10. So that being said, folks, thank you all for watching. It's the Natural Born Driller, saying peace on the streets. For this was your Impact Wrestling review. Until next time, when we're my Impact Wrestling review, take care.